Okay, we're back real quick with part 7 of Hollywood Babylon. Sorry, you guys, I have been so busy. And we are at 1929, Hollywood Babylon. The Great Depression, as you know, has hit. And it hit Hollywood hard as well. Movies slowed down, and the stars that was already made, they were going to their own Great Depression. Some people had their money in the stock market also. Now, you know, the stock market had just crashed. And while some people kept all their cash in their house, under their beds, because a lot of people back then did. It wasn't just celebrities. And after that, they definitely didn't want their money in the banks. But anyway, I digress. We have John Gilbert. He was one of the highest paid stars at MGM. He had a big parade and everything. He was getting paid $10,000 a week. Gilbert married Broadway actress Ina Claire. She was a rebound chick. They were on their honeymoon. Right when he came back and realized all his money that he kept in the stock market, $200,000 back in that time, 1920s, was gone. However, not to worry, he had a huge unbreakable contract from MGM Studios. However, I don't know what happened to his voice, but opening night of his film, it was called His Glorious Night. Everybody started laughing and was embarrassed for him. They said that his voice was weird, low, and people were embarrassed of him. It was said that he did like a good comedy skit at one point in time, and his voice wasn't that bad. However, because of this movie, I don't know what was going on with his voice and the optics. They said his career was finished. Now, here's the tea, though. I told you that L.B. Mayers, you know, the guy that ran Hollywood, apparently he wanted to smash this dude's career. And he had the people that do the sound systems, he had them play with the trebles in the sound system purposely to make him sound a complete mess. I guess that's one way to get him out of his unbreakable contract, right? Mayers is a mess, and he was definitely messy. However, Gilbert was bit with that bug. And you know what that is. That's that Hollywood, I need that fame, I need that love from my fans, all of that stuff. Everything was just taken away from him. And at the same time, his little wife that he just married, Ina Claire, she rose. Her star rose to fame. So she's going up and he's coming down. He don't have fans and he don't have the love. They just came off their honeymoon and he lost his money. And Little Miss Wife that he married, she threw it back at him every chance she got. She would throw digs in him. Now, liquor was just becoming legal now. It was no longer illegal. It was no longer bootlegging. So Gilbert took on the new legal substance, chug-a-lug. However, at the same time, there was another star. Her name was Mary Prevost. She also had voice troubles. Thank you, Mr. Mayers. Oops, he is a hater. And it's the thing is, these people can't take it. They had a drink-a-thon to the end, which Mr. Gilbert won first in 1936, and Marie was completed at 1937. Unfortunately, she was alone in her seedy apartment for a while. No one there. I take that back. She had a pet. Now, trigger warning. So if you are no longer around, but you're there in your apartment, nobody's checking on you, and you can't feed your dog. You know what he ate, right? Okay. So let's just say half of her was found. Now, Gilbert's story was actually turned into the big screen, and that is the original 1937 film, A Star is Born. However, the unaliving scene in the film, it was inspired by another Hollywood actor, John Bowers. So now in the beginning of the Depression, 1929s, hundreds of millions of moviegoers, they had to stop. They had to go to work. They had to go to the assembly lines. By the time 1930s hit, 40% of the moviegoers was not going at all. They were trying to give away tickets, 2-for-1s, double features. And I'm going to be honest, the Great Depression gimmicks, it was not enough to keep people going. Ads pulled themselves out of the movies and they put themselves in the magazines. Now, California, the only thing that was good for, come for a vacation, but don't come to be a star. They literally advertised that. They was like, you will be disappointed. However, we still had some stars. And MGM, they also launched the motto, more stars than there are in heaven. See, this is men playing with things they're not supposed to play with. However, 1931, we had like 26 new talkie stars appeared. The ones that started in 1921s, it was only about 3 remaining from the 1921s. Gilbert's career wasn't the only one to end. You had Conrad Nagel, Charles Farrell, Buddy Rogers, William Haynes, Raymond Navarro. They were definitely retired. And of course, it was bad for the women like Billy Dove, Colleen Moore, Corinne Griffin, Norma Talmadge. Now, Norma, for some reason, she decided to pretend like she was too rich to care. And some of them, they married for a name. Now, Louise Brooks, she was a big star. And everybody I'm naming was a huge star back in that day. She had to go work at the counter of Macy's. And that was better than some people because you had Mae Murray. Mae Murray, she was a millionaire's princess. She had a spouse. And after she was losing money, he left her. And eventually she was found in Central Park, sleeping on a bench. A full princess. You can't make this stuff up. And then we have Gloria Swanson. Now, she married a prince because she was like, listen, I'm going to trade in my title and I'm going to be a countess. Because she was marrying the last available prince from M. Devani. His name was Prince Serge or Prince Sergi. Excuse me if I got it wrong. But a few years later, he ditched her for a new actress, Beauty. Now, I know they said Wall Street was acting amok, but you got a lot of Hollywood actresses and actors. They could not take it. So they went out with a bang. Pardon the pun. But they decided to take matters in their own hands and unalive. And they would be found on their altars and their houses and stuff like that. Now, this is where the saying came from, has been. Has been. And once that label was on you, it was stuck, even if it was unfairly added to you. Now, it wasn't that many stars that made it out. However, Joan Crawford, in 1932, she was able to make it out. In 1932, she felt like she should lift everybody's spirits. And she made a publicity manifesto and a photograph and stuff like that. But she titled it Spend. Spend, darling, spend. It was titled Spend. A defiant declaration of rights of stars. And you know what people said in the answer to that? They said, you know what? These movie stars are grossly overpaid. However, Joan replied, look, it's my duty to maintain. So she had the furs, the clothes. She was just living luxurious. And she was determined. So she was like, if I dress in furs, dazzly jewelry, and always be luxurious and stuff like that, the fans will be satisfied and the dollars will stay in circulation. You know, money attracts money. Joanne encouraged her friends, her fans, to imitate her. She said, I Joan Crawford, I believe in the dollar. Everything I earned, I spent. Magnificent mansions, motor cars, cascades of luxuries, life outside the studio, a world of cocktail parties, well-publicized nightclubs, dates, romantic rendezvous. She played it to the hilt. Joanne knew where she came from, and she was like, I am not going back there.